Hey, my name's Izzy. This is Rolling Virtual Cards coming at you with another deck build. Commander deck build. This is Arwen, Mortal Queen. Arwen, Mortal Queen is 1 green, white for a 2/2 legendary creature, Elf Noble. Arwen, Mortal Queen enters the battlefield with an Indestructible counter on it. Pay 1 generic, remove an Indestructible counter from Arwen. Another target creature gains Indestructible until end of turn. Put a 1/1 counter and a lifelink counter on that creature, and a 1/1 counter and a lifelink counter on Arwen. This is very flavorful because it's the concept of Arwen giving up her mortality or her immortality to Aragorn. So, what are we doing with this deck is the question. And I'll show you. So, weirdly enough, this is a 1/1 counter deck because you're going to be removing this counter to put it to give something else indestructible, and putting 1/1 counters on each other and lifelink. So this is a life gain 1/1 counter deck. That can also just keep Arwen. Arwen. I can't pronounce the name. I'm just gonna go with Arwen. Arwen. You can just keep the Indestructible counter on Arwen. This keeps it alive, but it's pretty simple. You're gonna be running stuff like Hangerback Walker. It likes 1/1 counters. It gets you a bunch of tokens. It's useful. Those creatures allow you to go wide. Same thing with something like Walking Ballista. Likes 1/1 counters. Hopeful Initiate likes 1/1 counters, so you can start removing stuff and removing the counters and destroying artifacts and enchantments. Micaiah spreads the 1/1 counter love. Crackle Boom sacrifices itself to pop something. It's a very simple removal spell. I was looking for some decent ways to remove stuff and a lot of creatures to really push that going wide strategy, and it's just a good thing you can use. Conclave Mentor will double the 1/1 counters or add an additional one, and when it dies you gain life equal to its power. Copper Lakeling, you can sacrifice it to proliferate. That's going to buff all the 1/1 counters. Dusk Shell Crawler gives 1/1 counter, comes in with a 1/1 counter and gives all other creatures 1/1 counters trample. Grateful Apparition enters the battlefield. When it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, you proliferate, giving 1/1 counters to everything. Gyre Sage is pretty cool because it just for each 1/1 counter it has Evolve, and then you can add a green for each 1/1 counter on it. Huatley's Raptor enters the battlefield and you proliferate. Incubator Druid. If a 1/1 counter if it has 1 or more 1/1 counters, it taps for 3 instead of 1. Martyr of the Cause, when it dies, you proliferate. Pollen Bright Druid, when it dies, you proliferate. And here's the thing, you might be wondering what's with all the proliferating. The reason why is proliferating, you can put a second Indestructible counter on the Queen. So then you can remove that counter from the Queen, but still, and get someone else Indestructible, give them a lifelink and a 1/1 counter, give her a lifelink and a 1/1 counter, but then she still has Indestructible. And you can start spreading that everywhere, because you can't, there's no rules and you can only have 1 Indestructible counter. So you keep giving more and more 1/1 Indestructible counters and just start passing them out like she's, a whore. She's not actually a whore. But yeah, just start passing them out to everyone. Absent Falconer is going to give you flying here. Adaptus Spore Singer is proliferates when it ETBs. Bloated Contaminator, when it deals combat damage to the player, you're going to proliferate. Contagious Varric, when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal a land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom left in a random order. If you don't put a card into your hand this way, proliferate. Eternal Witness is recursion. Evolutionary Sage proliferates every time a land hits the battlefield. Fur-tailed, you can pay 2 to remove a 1/1 counter for it to search your library for a land and put it on the bed of tap. Since you're proliferating, you can keep doing this constantly. It's not once per turn. Heliod's Uncrowned gives you 1/1 counters when you gain life. Since she's spreading lifelink around, it works. It also just wins you the game with Walking Ballista, which is not a bad thing. Kami of the Whispered Heroes is going to give you an extra 1/1 counter on everything and tabs for its power. Mirror of Nature tabs for its power, and when another elf enters the battlefield, you put a 1/1 counter on it. Park Heights Maverick, it has the Throne, and when it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, and when it deals combat damage to a player or dies, proliferate. Each creature you control with a 1/1 counter has trample. It also puts a 1/1 counter on any creature when it enters the battlefield you control. Rishkar gives you the ability to tap creatures with 1/1 counters for mana. Armorcraft Judge is going to draw you cards for the 1/1 counters. And Archangel of Thune. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. This is great because, again, you're spreading around 1/1 counters and lifelink counters with Arwen. It's very fun, actually, with all these creatures. I'll get to the other cards, but like the main part here is like you're really trying to get all those 1/1 counters spread out evenly amongst everyone and proliferate a bunch so that Arwen can just start paying 1 and giving your creatures lifelink and other 1/1 counters, which will be 2 1/1 counters with your right setup. And then all of a sudden, everyone's swinging for life gain. The life gain's giving you counters. Thirsty Roots, search your library for a basic land card reveal, put in your hand, or proliferate. You're going to proliferate. Farseek is ramp. Smell Fair, proliferate. Then target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Since your commander's indestructible, it's fine. Unnatural Resorts, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand, search recursion, and proliferate. This is destruction, and then if that permanent was 3 or less, proliferate. And put a 1/1 counter on target creature, then proliferate. It's all proliferate. Removal, protection. Put a 1/1 counter on up to 2 target creatures, or proliferate, or entwine for 4 more. Oh, I guess you can pay the. I don't know if you have to pay both. I don't know if it's 6 to do it or just 4. But yeah, proliferate. Removal, draw. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, then double the number of 1/1 counters on that creature. This can really allow your Arwen to just swing for game. Ramp. Proliferate. Ramp. Double 1/1 counters. And a way to put 1/1 counters on stuff. Ramp. Thord of Geth. Sacrifice an artifact. Proliferate. You're only running like 14 artifacts. Well, how many artifact creatures are you running, if any? 1, 2? This one makes some. Maybe not the best, but it's not awful. You can sack itself to proliferate. Ramp. And when it's the battlefield, you proliferate. This is ramp. It also is proliferate. This is proliferate. A little expensive a card. And Contagion Injury is double proliferate. And then here, gain life plus 1/1 counters. Plus more gain life. 1/1 counters, 1/1 counters, 1/1 counters. And 36 lands. Yeah. I don't normally run 36 lands anymore. This is one of the earlier decks I had designed. Definitely a good baseline. I'd probably remove some lands down to like 34, so just 2. But those 2 cards, you could probably add some of the newer 1/1 counter cards to the deck that are out there. But yeah, that is Arwen, Mortal Queen, sharer of 1/1, Indestructible. Sharer of indestructible counters. Well, I guess it doesn't actually share the 1/1 counters, or it doesn't share the indestructible. She keeps the indestructible, and she shares the lifelink in the 1/1 counters. And the 1/1 counters become 2 1/1 counters, and everything gets buff and bigger, and everything is lifelink. And accidental lifelink is great. I think if I could edit anything with this deck, I'd probably try to find more ways to get draw. There's not a lot of draw power in this deck, which you might find an issue with. If you just keep hitting your drops, it's not going to be the end of the world. But again, my decks are really just good starting points for people. So definitely feel free to check it out. Peace.